Today I'm going to show you all how to make plantain fritters. Fried fritters are a type of food where ingredients are mixed with a batter or dough and then deep fried until crispy and golden brown. They can be sweet or savory and are made from a wide variety of ingredients including vegetables, fruits, meats, or seafood. Tamarind sauce is a tangy, sweet, and slightly spicy condiment made from tamarind pulp. Tamarind, a tropical fruit, has a unique flavor that combines sourness with a hint of sweetness. The sauce is typically made by mixing tamarind pulp with sugar, salt, spices, and sometimes other ingredients like garlic, ginger, and chili peppers. Alright, so the first step for plantain fritters is to boil the plantain, and you need ripe plantain to make these fritters. One visual sign to know when your plantain ready is when it starts to pop out the skin like that. You can see the others starting to pop out to the skin, and then you want them fork tender. So you see how easy the fork going in without really applying too much pressure. So that's your sign to let you know that your plantain is ready. Drain this off, peel off the skin, and just use a fork, or if you want to use a potato crusher, and just break it down and mash it up into smaller pieces. Alright, so as you can see how we broke down the plantain here into smaller even pieces. Into our flour we go in with some black pepper, salt, baking powder, yeast, garlic powder, and onion powder. Next we're going in with some freshly chopped chive, onion, and pimento to help add a lot of flavor to our fritter. Then we go in with our plantain. This is going to give our fritter a lot of sweetness. Then we go in with our saltfish. This is going to help balance the sweetness of the plantain. Of course, the good thing about this is you could use something else. If you want to use smoked fish, or if you want to use shrimp or another protein, you can do that as well. Crab even. Now we're going in with a little heat. This will also help balance out all the flavors. Sweetness from the plantain, saltiness from the saltfish. You could use a spoon if you want, but I just prefer to use my hand. The fritter already has a lot of moisture from the plantain in it, so yeah, be mindful when you add in the water. Just gonna add a little more water. You want it to be like very thick pancake batter. Best way I could describe this. Alright, so now I'm going to cover this and let this sit and allow the yeast to do its thing and rise. Alright, so while the fritters are rising, we're going to make some tamarind sauce for it. So here we have our tamarind pulps. So that's just adding some water. And we're going to cover and bring this to a boil. Alright, so now that it's boiled and most of the pulp has separated from the seed, what we're going to do, we're going to strain it. Now some people like to make the sauce and leave the seeds in. I mean, if that's your fancy, by all means, but I don't like the seeds, so I'm just going to strain it. And once I strain it, I'm just taking the concentrate back to the stove and going to add in some flavorings and let it continue to reduce to a thick sauce. Right, so here we have our pulp, tamarind concentrate. To that, you're going to be adding some brown sugar, salt, shadow Beni, some pepper sauce hidden there. We'll include the link in the description for our pepper sauce and minced garlic. Alright, so just want to give that a mix. And we just want to let this continue to reduce until it's reached our desired thickness. And depending on the acidity level of the tamarind, you may need to add more sugar. It's just something you just want to taste closer to the end. Alright, so here we have our oil, in this case vegetable oil, set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to do is taking 2 regular household tablespoons and just dip it into the oil to coat it. This will help the batter or prevent the batter from sticking. Just scooping up about 3/4 of the spoon and using the back of the other spoon to push it into the oil. Just repeating that process. You don't want to make your fritters too large because you don't want the outside to become golden brown before the inside is fully cooked. And you just want to do this as quickly as you can because you don't want the first set to be fully cooked and you're still spooning in fritters. You could also do this with 2 persons. 1 person frying and 1 person spooning in the fritters. From here I'm just using my spider web just to make sure none of them are sticking together. All are floating. So you get this golden brown color. That's a key sign also. You'll see the amount of bubbles will significantly reduce. I'm going to just drain off your excess oil and then transfer it to a paper lined container.